Yo, what up? What's happening?
Hey, Roland.
Okay, there's always crazy moments. So
Yeah.
what has been the craziest thing that's happened either on stage or before that was just nuts?
Oh, wow. I think we'll have a whole 2-week show if that's the case. No, I'm just playing. There have been power outages.
Right?
We've dealt with that. We've dealt with tour buses breaking down. We've dealt with accidents on the road that prohibited us from getting from one place to another, and so you wind up, because you know me, I'm gonna always be where I'm supposed to be all the time, because I mean that comes from, you know, just anything media communications. What do they teach us? No, you're there before time, because if you get there on time, you're late.
There you go.
That's what they teach us.
There you go.
Because anything could break, you know.
That's true.
So
Yeah, that's right.
That I've had. I've never had a wardrobe malfunction that was like, she's exposed. Never had that. You know, a zipper in the back or something like that, you know, dressing or something. It's always happened before stage. But on stage, we've had power outages. We've had, oh my gosh, an amp blowout or something like that.
You ever had that? What happened to Patti LaBelle at they had the National Tree Lighting Ceremony? You seen that video?
No.
Where they got the wrong cue cards, and then the choir wasn't on stage, and Patty was sitting here, hang up the mistletoe tree, I'm gonna walk down the street. She's like, I don't know the words. She's like, this Christmas, and she just it is hilarious. Like literally the choir's not there. She like
oh, but that's stage management.
She like where the choir?
But you know that's stage
she like
management.
cue card man. You got the wrong. He had the wrong cue cards. They were not in order. She like that ain't the words. And so Patty just started just riffing. It is crazy.
I just love her.
It is crazy.
I love her, but she thought on her toes, and that's what they teach us. Well, that's what they used to teach us. I don't know what they're teaching now. But it's always good to know the words, because anything could happen. I did have a teleprompter go out on me at a theater when I was singing, what was it? At Last. And thank God I remembered the words, because, you know, that's... No, but that was a stage manager.
Yeah.
Oh, he needed to be fired
absolutely.
right then and there.
She literally on stage. She's like, "What choir?"
Because we've done too many of those things.
And she's like, keeps calling, and they come in and and they finally come on, and she was like, "About time." Oh, if you go to YouTube, pull that video up.
Oh my gosh.
It is crazy. It is crazy. It was like no choir. The cue card man was jacked up. It was, and then he was slow. She's like, "Baby, you gotta move. Switch the card." I'm telling you, it's hilarious. It's painful, but it's hilarious.
Like it's painful and hilarious.
I feel for Patty, but I appreciate the comedy that we got
came with it,
because it was absolutely crazy. That was absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. Wow. So how many times have you done this McDonald's Inspiration Celebration Gospel Tour?
Oh my gosh, I know I've done it probably a good 5-6 times. I did it with Dorinda. I did it, well, Donald's always there. He's just impeccable. I love him so much. Yeah, about 5 times. Yeah, 5 times. Yes, I love it.
So 15 years, so you've done a third of those.
Yes.
But this is different because you got all this Houston flavor.
Yes.
That's a little different.
Yes.
That's a little different. So here's what I talked to James Fortune. This is what he said. So I asked each artist, is there somebody who you really, really, really want to perform with, or do something with? And James Fortune said, you. I'm like, well, dude, what's the problem? He was like, he said,
she's always busy.
Well, he's like, when we talked about it, he's like, well, you know, but he said, you know what, I haven't sent anything. I was like, well, what you waiting on?
Right.
So I just told him, I said, all right, I'm gonna hit you once a month. Like, say, dog, did you hear her? Did you hear her? Because it's like Lester Love. Lester Love, when he did that, you know, those riff on love songs.
Yes.
I've been hitting Lester for 5 years to say, bro.
Tell him to do
I'm like, bro, when you gonna do this album? What's up?
Yeah.
Like I sent him a video today going, say, bro.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I said, I was like, dude, what's up?
You are hilarious.
I was like, Lester.
You know, I've known Lester before he and Fran got married.
Really?
Yes.
I've been telling him, Lester, you gotta
Yeah,
do.
his voice.
I said, you gotta do an album of all of these love songs.
Yeah.
I said, dude, call it Jesus is Love.
No,
I said,
you don't even have to call it that.
Whatever. I said, but you gotta do it. He's like, yeah, you're right. I was like, literally, if I pull a text message up, you go see Chain going back 4 years like, Lester, what album, dog?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, don't take all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. Recording is easier these days.
Yeah, but you know, he's a bishop. He has
don't matter.
churches.
No,
he has a family.
Okay.
All his girls are out of school now.
4 years, you can figure out how to record this.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
All
so I ain't letting them off the hook.
Okay.
No. So I told James, I said, James, I'm gonna hit you once a month. Say, bro. I said, then you can't lie. I said, then I'm gonna hit you. Lana's like, did he send it? I'm like, what's the deal? I'm like, I said, you gotta get on it, bro. You gotta get on it.
And I've known James since he was a teenager.
I said, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
So
I'm real proud of them.
So is there somebody you really, really, really want to work with that you never worked with before? That you just, whether it's a writer or whether it's a singer or a group, you really want to do something with?
Wow. Stevie and I have talked about some stuff.
Okay.
And I definitely want to do something with Tremaine. Now, I've honored her several times.
Right.
We've been in, across the pond together and the Bahamas, all the islands together. And she is really one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, not just music.
Right.
But because she's just an all-around good person. And she has taught me so many things through the years that I've kept with, raising Taylor and, with the music, making sure that music does not outweigh family, and that I'm not so, what's the word? I'm not so hard on myself when I have to leave. And that was before she was, a senior in college.
Right. She's grown now.
She's grown.
Like,
graduating. Can you imagine?
You're like, I'm gonna holler at you later. You gotta keep your
No,
crib.
that's what she's telling me.
She's like, when you leaving?
That's what she's telling me. It's like, I'm good. But yeah, I just love Tremaine. So yeah, my first person would be Tremaine. And, if Stevie wants to, he can produce and write for me and Tremaine. And I think we do it a trio thing. Well, you already know what we're waiting on. We got to make sure COVID practices are, are right, because we got to get in the same room together.
Well, they got plexiglass. They got stuff.
I know, and Terry and Jimmy and I, we work together like that anyway.
Got it.
And so I know they would be happy to do it as well.
Because see, Brian Courtney Wilson said that his dream is do something with Stevie. Yeah. So I called Stevie and left him a voicemail. Then we sent a video. Then Stevie hit me back. So I was like, all right, Brian. I said,
it's on y'all now.
I said, come on. Because see, when I talked to Johnny Gill, so I
I love him so much.
I asked artists all this, and he said Aretha had agreed to do something.
Yes.
They had talked. She's like, I would be honored. And Johnny said, I never follow up. I was like,
yeah.
He said, man, I'm kicking myself. I never did. So I tell everybody, like, do it. Don't sit here. Rance Allen, when I interviewed him, he said, I would love to do something with Eddie Levert. So I called Eddie. And I was like, Rance, Eddie. He's like, are you serious? I was like, hey, bro, you said that's who you want to do something with?
Yeah.
I said, so I called him.
But you talking about all my favorite people.
I'm like, what y'all want to do?
You're talking about all my favorite people.
I just don't believe in, my dude's like, go for it. Don't wait.
Yeah.
We get busy, whatever. I'm like, let's figure it out. Let's go in. Let's make it happen.
I know that's right. Yeah.
Because truly, no day is promised. Things change. We all get busy. I'm like, no. That's why.
For real.
That's why I've been riding Lester. I'm like, Lester, you gonna do this.
I know.
You gonna do this, Lester.
Yeah.
I know he probably got. He like, hey, this fool sent me a text again. He's like, he sent me a text again. Every time I send me Essence, I'll be like,
oh yeah. Well, he rules Essence.
I don't even say, hey, I go.
You know there's something wrong with you.
That's the
for
look.
real.
Say, dog, what album? I said, I'm tired of listening to that YouTube video.
Yeah, I
That 7 minute,
know.
11 seconds a YouTube video of your compilation. I'm like, what album at? Oh, I'm telling him, I'm going to hit him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him. So what you got next? B. Michael McKay doing something?
Yes, he is.
See, I knew that.
Yeah,
I
we're
knew.
already working.
See, I knew that.
Yes.
I knew that.
Now that we're working on.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Oh no, but he always gonna drop something.
Oh, yeah.
He always gonna drop
He's
something.
just so amazing to me. The way he thinks, the way he interprets things, and the way he sees life. It's so, I mean, everything that he's written for me is still pertinent today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want. You want timeless music.
Right.
You want music that your grandchildren will be playing, your great-grandchildren will be playing, you know, those kinds of songs that keep people in a space of encouragement and keep them in a space of knowing that they can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, life is just like that. It goes in waves and it surges and then it, you know, ebbs and flows. You have to be able to deal with those ebbs and flows, and what better way than music?
Yep. So who would you love to do something with who's not in gospel?
Well, I just told you.
No. Another
Stevie.
singer. Well, I got Stevie, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking more on the producing side. I'm thinking like another artist. Is another artist?
Oh, there's so
that-
many people. I love Mary J. I love her. I love her heart.
Did 7th Streeter ever write something for you?
7th Streeter didn't write anything for
'Cause
me, but remember we were at Essence.
365 Black
Yes, we
Awards,
sure were.
And she was like, oh my God.
Her
she's like,
mom.
I never met Yolanda Adams. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
She's like, I'd love to write something for you one day.
Yeah, and I told her, I'm like, okay, here's my number.
Right.
And yeah.
She ain't followed up?
Well, here's the thing about that as well.
Because you know I'm a
I
caller.
think sometimes you call everybody though.
You know I'm a caller.
But here's the thing. I think sometimes people think you're just being kind when
Versus
you
like
say
being right.
Yeah, when you say, oh, of course, here's my number,
Right,
call
yeah.
me.
Well, because Sheila, who's on the show.
Yeah.
Once got
I know what you're talking about.
show.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here, and I asked her the same question. She's like, oh my God, Tank.
Oh.
So I called Tank.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, you call? I'm like, I'm calling Tank.
Yeah.
I said, didn't you say you want to do something with Tank? I said, I'm calling Tank.
Yeah, we worked together on Real
she-
Hollywood Husbands, me and Tank.
And she was like, she was sitting here. She was like, she started having heart palpitations, and she was like, okay, that's really Tank. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And Tank was like, all right, Roland, give you my number. Let's do something.
Yeah.
And so she was literally like, okay, this
Right.
actually happened. I was like, look. I said, I asked the question for a reason. And so if you want to sit here, I said, I don't understand.
Oh,
what the,
my
I told her, I
gosh.
said, I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand what the problem is.
Wow.
I said, you just got to do it. You
Yeah.
got to do it. Hold on one second.
Well, you know,
Telephone number you have.
Hold on one second. Where's she at?
Who?
She gone somewhere.
who is that?
You know who I'm about to call? No, she gonna write something for you.
Oh,
Because
7th
she
Street?
asked, she was like, oh my God, I've never. She's like, Roland, will you introduce me to Yolanda Adams? Oh my God. Oh my God, I
She's
love,
so sweet.
Like, oh my God, I love her.
Hey,
I was like,
we're rolling. We can't get. We'll do this
no,
later.
that's how we do it.
Oh, that's how
It's
you
my
do
it's
it.
my show.
It is your show.
I ain't got to ask
And I
nobody.
forgot about that. You're right.
Right, what's wrong with you? I ain't got to ask nobody. Plus,
Okay.
I own the cameras.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. If she don't answer, we gonna do a video, and we gonna say, look, you promise.
No, we're not gonna
you
do
we're
it.
gonna do a
We're
video.
not gonna do all that
Trust me,
facial
I'm gonna
stuff
do
though.
it. Look,
All
you
that, all that
promise
facial stuff,
to
we're not
do-
doing that.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
No, we're gonna say, "Hey, sweetie,
And
how are you?"
no, that's too nice.
No,
That's too cute.
Yeah, well, that's you.
That's too cute.
That's you being mean.
7. Do you know who I'm sitting here with? Do you remember the McDonald's 365 Black Awards? Remember in Essence?
Oh my
You like,
gosh.
oh my God.
You are
I can get Yolanda
crazy.
Adams. And I walk you over to Yolanda Adams. You're like, I'd love to write something for you. Hurry up, write something. I'm talking to her.
Hey, beautiful.
And she said, I ain't heard from her. 7.
No,
I know
didn't.
you've been cutting a new album, but write something. You know, write something. Write something. I'm telling you. You said
Finish your album, sweetie.
No, album
and
is
then
finished.
you and I will talk.
Album is finished. Do something. And I see you again. I'm gonna ask you every time I see you. Then I'm gonna call your mama. I'm gonna call your mama too.
Oh,
I'm gonna
please
call
tell
all your
Mama I
whole
said
family.
hi.
Okay, so get on it. Write something.
You are funny.
Matter of fact, Write something the next 24 hours and text her.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Do it.
Take your time.
No, I'm gonna call you
Take your
tomorrow.
time.
I'm gonna call you tomorrow.
You are crazy. Yeah, but I think she is so talented.
Oh, crazy talented.
She is so talented.
Because so she switched labels and she's now more in control of the whole piece.
Yes.
So she and I had a conversation in Florida, and we were talking about me. I had my own media company, owning my show.
Yeah.
And then what it's like having to be in control of all of it, not just you just sing. So the whole piece. So we had a great conversation about how she now looks at stuff in a whole different way.
Oh, you have
because
to.
she's operating as a CEO.
And you have all these people that you're responsible for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, whereas you may have had a handful of people as an artist.
Right.
But now you are the corporation.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it was a very interesting conversation talking to her about that and how that's going and how that's developing. I want to ask you about relevance because you mentioned Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. I think about Prince. I think about. I mean, I even go back to Michael Jackson. When an individual is so established, and in fact, what was it? We were somewhere. Was it in Atlanta? I think it was in Atlanta. Harvey Armstrong wanted you to sing. Harvey.
I love him so much. That is one of my best friends in the world.
Harvey wanted you to sing. Oh my God, My Liberty, and you were like, "Look, Harvey."
Yeah.
Now they have a whole lot of songs. He's like, I don't care.
Exactly. Remember that?
And he was just going on, and you like, look, I done had this hit. But that's also part of the deal where the audience sort of locks you in. And so talk about how hard it is where you still want to do new stuff. But the audience is like, hey, okay, fine. All right, you've seen one of them, but then I want to hear all the rest of the stuff because Prince talked about that.
Yes.
And he fought that for the longest until finally it was like, you know what, I got to sing the hits. I can mix in some other stuff.
Yes.
But that's hard when the fans lock you into just don't stay here. Don't do anything new. Just stay here.
Well, that's one of those things that Tremaine taught me a long time ago. She said, "You will always be known as the My Liberty little girl, the Battle Is Not Yours young woman, and the Open My Heart grown woman." And so you're going to have to learn how to navigate every concert because every concert has its own different flavor.
Right.
You know, a concert at Carnegie Hall is different from a concert at First Baptist in Roanoke, Virginia. So you have to know the difference. And the beauty is that the songs that people want to hear are the songs that live forever.
There you go.
So learn how to strategically place those songs, you know, start with something that they know so the whole audience can sing. As soon as you get on that stage, that first song better be a banger that everybody from the front to the back of that place can sing.
See, my man Maxwell learned that. So
Yes.
when he did Essence, and new album came out, and one came on stage about 90 minutes late, and so he's doing all this new stuff, and the audience is like, we don't know what none of this stuff is, and it was, and so the only song we knew was Pretty Wings.
Yes.
And the audience was like, no one's really moving or whatever. It was, and I remember it was all these pieces that were written the next day about how the audience wasn't feeling it. So that was in July. He did the Tom Joyner Family Reunion at the end of August, September. Did a completely different show. Came out there, mixed in them urban hang suites. So,
Yes.
But because it was like, yo, we gonna figure out the new stuff, but we better play something we know.
But I mean, it's
Come
just
out of
like
that
radio.
gate. Yeah.
It's just like radio, especially morning drive. People don't, for some odd reason, they want what they're familiar with.
Yes.
And so when you know your audience,
Yep.
you can guide them along your new path.
Right.
But you've got to entice them with what they're familiar with.
Right.
And so I think for me, having Shirley Caesar, Nancy Wilson, Dionne Warwick, Tremaine, Albertina Walker, having all of these mentors in my life who taught me before I got on the stage, hey, this is how you do this, and this is why you do this. You know, I think that's what's missing right now in a lot of the artistry if they don't get the lessons, they'll keep going over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean,
the same thing.
How to structure.
How to structure your concerts, how to structure an interview, how to, appear on camera, even on your Instagram or your Zooms or whatever.
Right.
All of those things are very important. And
artist development.
Well, that's what we had back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're finding out that you need artist development.
Absolutely.
Because now a lot of these kids are their bedroom TikTok sensations, but they're stage failures.
Yep.
Because it is totally different.
Different beast.
To have 3 ring lights, 2 cameras, and you're in the comfort and safety of a room that you grew up in.
Right.
As opposed to a stage where you may have, of course, post-COVID, you may have 500 people in the audience, but those are 500 people that have never seen you. They don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And then you don't have the comfort of moving and navigating the stage.
I mean, it was like when Van Jones and I had this conversation when we joined CNN. He's like, everybody think they can do this. And I was like, no.
No.
And he was like, yo, this is no joke.
No.
And so I would sit here and we would, I was like, all right, I saw your segment. She whooped your behind.
Yeah.
Like, what were you doing here?
Right.
Why'd you go here? Why'd you say that?
Right.
You were long-winded. What would happen? And so breaking down the segment and literally training. No. Watch the camera angles. Watch your hand position. Watch how you sit. Watch how you turn.
Yes.
Watch how you. So understand it. It's for me. I call it craft development. You have to actually study the craft.
Yes.
And that's probably the one thing that drives me crazy the most. Not just in media, but in any profession. When someone doesn't study the craft. You may know how to sing. You may know how to report. You may know how to read the teleprompter. But have you studied the craft to understand tone, voice inflection, to understand, do I come in hot? Do I come in low? I mean, all of those different things that truly, same thing in sports, the people who study video and understands how to put things together. It's studying the craft.
Oh, it's
and
very
perfecting
important.
the craft.
It's so important because no one wants to hear you speak at a level of, and in Bangladesh, so on, so on, so on. So you go there.
Right.
There has to be this interest of your content, first of all.
How can you be serious but then be funny?
There you go. Exactly.
How can you be deep and philosophical but then also be playful? I mean,
yes.
and knowing when to do it. Facial expressions.
Yes.
How to throw a certain look. I mean, all that sort of stuff like that. And you're right. It's not taught. And so what it requires is for someone to want to say, yo, I just want to see it. I just want to watch you. I just want to study you. I just read an article on Regina King, and there was a movie. She was an actress, and they were shooting it. And the director realized she was like on set constantly, even when she wasn't shooting that day.
She wasn't shooting.
But she was studying the director the entire time.
Yeah. And now what is she doing?
Boom.
Directing.
Right. Now one of the house directors, but it was no. That's why I tell millennials and Gen Z folks who work for me, if I'm not talking to you, don't grab your phone and start scrolling through on social media. Listen to the conversation I'm having with him or her, so you're also learning from that conversation.
Yeah. And that's I think that's one of the disappointments for me. If I'm in a room with this 40 years of experience and I'm, as the kids say, spitting knowledge, and the first thing you want to do is text, I'm in the room.
Right.
But you don't understand that texting that at the time that I'm speaking, you could lose just a wealth of knowledge by, because this is intimacy that you ain't gonna get no more.
Precisely. And you don't know how often you're going to have those conversations.
Case in point, every time I was in the room with Cicely Tyson, I would come near her and I would shut everything down, shut everybody down, and I'd just listen.
Thurgood Marshall died. I interviewed Barbara Jordan.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I got this is the only time I got a chance to interview her.
Wow.
And she said there was nothing like going to meet with him and just sitting at his feet and learning. That's what she said.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So whenever you get a chance to listen from the greats, hear, just even if it's a story about ice cream and walking down to the corner store or something, you can find a pearl of wisdom in that, because that's how they talk, you know, or how we talk as we get older.
Right.
Because you have to connect it.
Yep.
You have to connect it to the real life experience. And I hope that someone says that I've done that for them, because I try to do that for Jacqueline Carr, Anita Wilson, you know, Kiki, all of them, you know.
But it's also you still being able to learn from other greats. I probably this would be the last question for you. I was at Jeffrey Osborne golf tournament.
Oh yeah.
Massive storm comes through. We get rained out. So we're sitting in the clubhouse. I mean, I'm talking about massive storm. So we're sitting at the table, and Ahmad Rashad is sitting here. Ed Levert is sitting here. Barry Bonds is sitting here. Sugar Ray Leonard is sitting here, and I'm sitting here. And so I bring up something that happened at one of Oprah's events with Eddie. And Eddie started talking. But then Eddie starts talking about how him watching me and like, man, dude, he said, man, your knowledge. So this ends up into this greatness conversation.
Oh, man.
Where Ahmad Rashad is talking about what it means to be a great football player. Barry Bonds says, I could teach a dude 2 out of the 10 things to make him a great hitter. I can't teach him all 10. Sugar Ray starts talking. And then we're sitting there, then Sugar Ray goes, well, you've been a great boxer. I was like, and what are you talking about? He said, they said last night we were on stage. He said, I was in awe of your dancing. He said, I was looking at your footwork. And he was like, he said, man, I thought you were going to fall. He said, a guy your size, he said, you were just flowing, you were spinning, and you were going this way. He said, no, you've been a hell of a boxer. I said, yeah, but you got to get hit.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. Yeah. So here we are on stage just dancing, and he's looking at footwork. And going, and he said, because that's really strong boxers had great footwork.
Yes.
And so this whole conversation was just about, and so then like I forgot, one of those asking me, okay, so like when you're on television and when you're doing this, what do you do? And so we were just having this whole conversation about what makes us us in all of these things. It was crazy.
And think about the common factor is that you all did something that made you stand above everybody else.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who, graduated from college in communications and went on and got their master's or whatever, but it took more than that, because once you got okay, you can't be on this show anymore, and you'd like, all right, I'll buy my own cameras.
There you go.
I'll build my own media company. I'll do this. And that's what I was telling someone. Well, you're not on the radio. Well, yeah, I'm still there because it's the Yolanda Adams Radio Network.
Right. See, they don't understand that. Because and that's where being caught up. It's sort of like in the music game. Those who are caught up in, I'm on a label.
Yes.
Or the person who says to me, well, but I'm not an author unless I'm signed with a major company. I was like, boo, if you got an ISBN number and you published, I said, you an author.
You're an author.
I said, but that's where the validation comes in.
But here's the thing. If you got even if you have 10,000 people following you, you have an audience.
Right.
And if you're good with those 10,000 people, that turns into 100,000 people.
But it's the validation. See, it's really somebody else. Really what that drives them is no. I'm validated because They signed me. So it's not, okay, yeah. Well, like, I literally had a brother, I know you have a show, but we gonna get you a show. I was like,
bruh, do you
I
realize?
said I have a show. He's like, no. This is when I have my TV One show. He literally said, no. I mean a real show.
So he thought that because
He
you
said
were
like
not,
CNN.
yeah.
He literally said like
But
CNN
it's
and
like,
MSNBC. He said a real show. Not realizing we shot the show.
Yeah.
We contracted with the NBC News Channel.
yes,
I said,
and
dude,
all of the money goes to y'all.
I said, dude, we're sitting in the same studio
Exactly.
as Brian Williams when he comes to town.
Exactly.
I said, but for him, it wasn't
it's
real.
mental.
And that's the thing,
Yeah.
because I'm sure you get, but you're not on the radio.
Yeah,
But you're not.
it's like,
but you're not. What? But no. But you're not.
But my stuff is playing every morning.
That it is the hard. I had a woman
know.
tell me, "Oh my God, I watch you all the time in the morning when you on television." I was like, "Well, boo, I've
still
had
on
my show for the
television.
last 3 years."
Right. I'm
And
still
she's
on
like-
television.
She goes, "Yeah, but you're not on television." I said, "No, actually,
Yes, I am."
I said, "All you gotta do is play the app on your TV."
Right.
I said,
Exactly.
"It's the
It's the same thing.
And she's like, "What?" I said, "It's the same thing."
It's the same thing, no middleman.
She could not.
I know.
And I told her, I said, for 3. She's like, for 3. I said, baby, I've been every day, Monday through Friday, for
Yes.
3 years.
Yes.
She's like, I
No,
can't
no, no.
believe that.
3 years successfully.
Right. But she could not. She was just like, but when you get back on TV, I'm like, baby, all you gotta do is click the app. I'll be on your TV tonight. I told her, we were in Atlanta airport. I said, download the Black Star Network app. I said, boo, you'll see me tonight on your TV.
Exactly. On your TV
That's all you gotta
or
do.
your phone, wherever you want.
That's all you gotta do.
That's all you gotta do.
She was just.
But you know, it's so interesting because Issa Rae was just, I saw her on, I think, who was it? Tamron Hall. Issa was saying that people were thinking, they thought once they saw Insecure on TV, that was where she, that's how she blew up. But
Right.
she had blown up way before that because she had 2 series on YouTube.
Yes.
And she made the money from YouTube
Right.
to do what she was doing, and that's where all the eyeballs
Right.
started coming up. But here's the thing about misconceptions, lack of knowledge, especially right now in the climate that we live in. You are your best representative.
I call it Me Inc.
Yes.
I think at the American Music Awards, you did an interview and you talked about outfits. I remember it was years ago.
Yeah.
And you were like, look, you can come in, you can look sexy, you can wear some, but you don't have to wear all of that. And it was just, and again, and the point is, if you want to ignore that, okay, fine.
Right, exactly.
But that's the whole point also of when people say, "Oh, you're an OG." That's the whole point of that. Charlie Wilson.
Yes.
He performed Trey's songs and we were backstage and Trey was already in there. I came in and Trey goes, "Man, look at you, Uncle Charlie. Y'all clean." And Charlie said, he said, "Young man, let me explain something to you." He said, "Artists out there, they grown." He said, "Don't walk out there in that wife beater." He said, "They grown." He said, now, if you want to strip down to the wife beater, that's different.
Cool.
He said, but don't walk out there dressed like that.
Don't walk out there dressed
Next year, Trey performs. I go backstage. Trey had hurt his ankle. He was up there iced. And I was like, yeah, I see a tuxedo. He goes, oh, he said, I remembered you and Uncle Charlie from last year.
Yes.
How clean y'all looked. But it was, but that was Charlie saying, say,
Yeah.
this a different group.
Yes.
This ain't 1829.
And this is not a festival.
Right. He's like, this group, he said, you come out there looking grown. And he did. But he remembered. But that's also the difference between somebody who listened and who didn't blow it off. And that's also the key. So,
But think about it. Uncle Charlie's been doing this for 50 plus years.
as he said, I'm old school and new school.
50 plus years.
Yeah.
Somebody that's been in the game that long, as many times as this thing has changed.
Right. And still relevant.
And still relevant.
Don't blow them off.
Don't blow them off.
Don't blow them
Don't
off.
blow them off.
So I say the same thing, and so I don't care. Look, I turn 53 November 14th. I roll up with an elder. I'm listening,
Every single
Studying.
time.
watching,
Every single time.
and I ain't got a problem asking questions. What about this? What about that? And so that's taking advantage of the opportunity. Always good to chop it up with you.
Always good to chop it up with you too.
Yes.
What are you doing next?
Well, you know, I launched the Black Star Network.
Yeah, I know that.
OTT. We
Yeah,
launched that.
I'm really proud of that.
We're gonna launch 8 shows next year.
Awesome.
So we are locking all that down, and so just building that.
Good. So how does it feel to have gone through all of these changes? And now I'm interviewing you because you interview so many people. But how does that feel knowing that you have empowered not just yourself with your network, but you're empowering the next generations to excellence, because what you do is done in excellence. I mean, and you've done that for a while.
Right. I
mean, since I've known you.
The difference is I always did it. The difference now is I'm in complete control. Yeah. So even when I had the TV One show, I put people on.
Well, I knew that.
To get an opportunity.
Remember, we were in D.C.
Right. But that
you and Spike.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do the CBCF. But that was always the goal.
Right.
So when you see Tiffany Cross on MSNBC, I put her on the. She was a journalist, but when she started doing the on-air stuff, I put her on first.
Yeah.
So my whole deal was provide someone an opportunity. So this time, but that was somebody else's platform. Yeah. That was, so I couldn't give them a show.
Right. Right.
I couldn't market them. I could put them on the show I had, but all I had was that 2-hour show. Now I can actually say, no. We're going to create a separate show for you.
Yes.
So that's what's the 2 words I've always had since the moment when I was at Yates School of Communication and left.
Yeah.
2 words that I've got in my whole career: freedom and flexibility.
Yes.
I want to have the flexibility to do what I want to do, go where I want to go, and I want to have the freedom to talk to who I want to talk to, and not have to ask someone, can I?
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned the validation part. For people to understand, I don't need to seek their approval to go. I now have to explain to you. Well, no. This is why I want to interview Yolanda Adams. This is why. No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not asking you. We're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, is this again that system?
Yeah.
Well, what we can do 4 or 5 minutes. No, we're gonna do 30.
Right.
See, so I'm not even interested in. I'm not even trying to ask.
Yeah. Well,
I don't even want to ask.
Well, now you don't have to.
Right. That's the point. That's the point. And so having that freedom and showing people what that's like and why it looks so different than these other platforms. That's also what has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And that I'm trying to get people to understand that you don't. There's a movie in The Insider. This is a great scene where Lowell Bergman, real life 60 Minutes producer, he goes, Lowell Bergman, 60 Minutes. One of my calls get returned. That's at the end of my name.
Wow.
And what I've always said is, create a career where you don't need anything at the end of your name to get your calls returned. So it's not Roland Martin CNN, Roland Martin TV One, Roland Martin Time Turner Morning Show. It's Roland Martin.
It's Roland Martin.
So no matter what I'm doing, call gets returned.
Exactly. Well, that's the definition of success.
So that's what I try to walk folks through. So
I know that's right.
That's
well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Roland Martin
and the Yolanda
on his
Adams.
own show.
And Yolanda Adams on my show with her network. See,
Yes.
Black excellence, looking good.
Why are you crazy? Oh my God. You are crazy. Yeah, I am proud of you though. I am so
Likewise.
proud.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Keep handling it.
Come on now.
All right.
Yeah.